Hey, welcome back. If you have been following K-pop for even just a year, you already know that the names Jimin and Taemin carry a kind of weight that very few artists in this industry ever get to hold. These two men have shaped what it means to be a performer in ways that go far beyond chart numbers or album sales. But today, we are not here to talk about their music or their dance skills, well, not entirely. Today, we are going to talk about something that fans have been quietly whispering about for years. Something that has been sitting right in front of our eyes the whole time, yet nobody has ever fully put it together in one place. We are talking about the real, unfiltered, deeply personal connection between ParkJimin and Taemin and why it matters more than you ever thought it did. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to look at both of them very differently. To understand the relationship between Jimin and Taemin, you first have to understand who they are within the world of K-pop, not as idols packaged for public consumption, but as real artists who came up through one of the most brutal industries in the entertainment world. Taemin made his debut in 2008 as a member of SHINee under SM Entertainment. He was just 14 years old. 14. And from the very beginning, it was clear that this was not just another trainee who had learned how to hit marks and smile for cameras. Taemin had something rare, a kind of physical intelligence, a way of inhabiting music through his body that made people stop and stare. Fast forward to 2013, and a young ParkJimin steps onto the stage with BTS under Big Hit Entertainment. He had trained for years, pouring himself into every rehearsal, every critique, every grueling session in the practice room. Like Taemin before him, Jimin did not just want to perform. He wanted to communicate something through dance and song that words alone could never reach. Two different companies. Two different debut years. Two different fan bases. And yet, here is where it gets interesting, because the universe of K-pop is smaller than it looks, and when artists of this caliber exist in the same space, it is only a matter of time before their paths cross in ways that leave a mark. The earliest documented evidence of Jimin and Taemin's connection goes back to moments that fans captured and archived with the devotion only K-pop stans can truly understand. Members of the K-pop community started noticing small things, the way Jimin would reference Taemin in interviews, the way he spoke about SHINee's performances, the clear admiration in his voice whenever Taemin's name came up. But admiration from a distance is one thing. What makes this story different is that it did not stay distant. Jimin has spoken openly, across multiple interviews and fan interactions, about the deep respect he carries for Taemin. He has called Taemin a senior that he looks up to, an artist who made him want to push harder, be better, dig deeper into what performance could actually be. For Jimin, Taemin was not just an idol on a screen. He was proof that sensitivity and strength could coexist in one performer, that you did not have to choose between emotion and technique. You could have both. You could be both. And Taemin, for his part, has shown that this respect flows in multiple directions. As someone who has watched the industry evolve and survived its harshest seasons, including the devastating loss of SHINee's Jonghyun in 2017, Taemin carries a kind of emotional depth that you can feel in every performance he gives. When Taemin has expressed admiration for younger artists, including the members of BTS, it has never felt performative. It has always felt earned and real. That distinction matters enormously. In an industry where every interaction is potentially a PR moment, genuine warmth is something you can feel immediately, and what these two have shown each other, in the moments the cameras have caught, reads as completely sincere. Here is something that dance analysts, choreographers, and serious fans of performance have been saying for a long time: Jimin and Taemin are, in many ways, artistic mirrors of each other. Not because they dance the same way, they absolutely do not, but because they approach the act of performance with the same foundational question. That question is, how do I make someone feel something real? Most idol performances are about precision. Hit the note. Land the step. Smile on count 8. There is nothing wrong with that, it takes extraordinary discipline and years of training. But Jimin and Taemin both operate in a space beyond precision. They operate in the territory of interpretation. Every move they make is a choice. Every expression is intentional. When Taemin performs Move, he is not just executing a choreography, he is making you feel the quiet intimacy of being truly seen. When Jimin performs Lie or Serendipity, he is pulling you into an emotional landscape that has no map and no easy exit. This is rare. In an industry that produces hundreds of debut groups every year and churns out content at a pace that would exhaust anyone, artists who can consistently perform with this level of emotional truth are genuinely exceptional. And the fact that both Jimin and Taemin have maintained this standard over years, through exhaustion, through constant scrutiny, through the relentless machine of idol life, says everything about who they are at their core. They are not performing emotion. They are channeling something that lives inside them, and they have both spent years learning how to let it out on stage without losing themselves in the process. Let us talk about some of the specific moments that have kept this conversation alive in fan communities for years. Award shows in South Korea are notoriously important social spaces for idols. Cameras catch everything, the small bows of acknowledgement, the eye contact across a room, the subtle ways that respect is communicated in a culture where hierarchy and sincerity exist side by side. Fans have collected and lovingly catalogued moments where Jimin and Taemin have been in the same space and the energy between them was palpably warm. Interactions where Taemin, as a senior in the industry, extended a kind of quiet recognition toward Jimin that spoke louder than any formal statement. And moments where Jimin, despite being part of arguably the biggest group in K-pop history at that point, carried himself with the humility of someone who still considers himself a student of the art. That combination, global superstardom paired with genuine humility, is rarer than it sounds, and it is one of the reasons Jimin's admiration for Taemin has always felt so authentic. He was not performing respect. He was actually practicing it. That dynamic, senior and junior, teacher and devoted learner, is one that runs deep in Korean culture. It is called the Sunbi-Hoobi relationship, and when it is genuine rather than performative, it creates bonds that outlast trends and chart cycles. The Sunbae offers guidance, sometimes without even realizing they are doing it. The Hoobi carries that influence forward into their own work, building on it, transforming it, making it their own. The connection between Jimin and Taemin has all the hallmarks of a Sunbi-Hoobi relationship that is built on real artistic kinship rather than industry obligation. Nobody told Jimin to admire Taemin. Nobody arranged that admiration as a talking point. It grew naturally, the way genuine influence always does, quietly, consistently, over time. Now here is the part that often gets overlooked in the noise of fan wars and shipping culture and social media hot takes. Both Jimin and Taemin have navigated extraordinary pressure, not just the ordinary pressure of being famous, but the specific, crushing pressure of being idols whose every pound, every expression, every career decision is monitored and commented on by millions of people. Taemin went through the unimaginable grief of losing Jonghyun, his groupmate and one of his closest friends, and then continued to perform and create and show up for fans while carrying that grief publicly, visibly, without the luxury of falling apart somewhere private. Jimin has spoken about his own struggles, with self-confidence, with the fear of not being enough, with the desire to give more than he sometimes had to give. These are not just talking points from promotional interviews. These are real human experiences that have shaped two artists who are more vulnerable, more complex, and more resilient than their polished performances might initially suggest. And maybe that is the deepest layer of what connects them. Not just artistry. Not just technical mastery. But the experience of having poured everything you have into something, of having stood on stages around the world and given every piece of yourself to people who love you, and then walking off stage and figuring out how to keep going. How to still feel like a whole person when the world has decided you are an icon. That is an isolating experience, and it is one that very few people can truly understand, but both Jimin and Taemin understand it. And artists who share that kind of experience tend to find each other, even across the walls that companies and categories and industry politics try to build between them. Something fascinating happened when both Jimin and Taemin stepped more fully into their solo identities. Taemin had been carving out his solo career since 2014, releasing music that was often experimental, sensual, and quietly revolutionary for what K-pop was supposed to sound and look like at the time. His solo work became a space where he could explore parts of himself that the group format did not always accommodate. He took risks, with his visuals, his concepts, his vocal approach, and those risks paid off in the form of a solo discography that stands as one of the most artistically coherent in the history of the genre. Taemin did not make music to be safe. He made music to be honest. And the audience felt that, even when they could not fully articulate why. When Jimin stepped forward with his solo album Face in 2023, the K-pop world was watching closely. And what they saw was an artist who had clearly done the internal work. Face was not a generic solo debut designed to show off radio-friendly hooks. It was a personal statement, honest, sometimes uncomfortable, emotionally direct in a way that felt genuinely brave. The album confronted themes of identity, loneliness, and the gap between who you are and who the world sees. Critics and fans alike recognized something important in it. This was Jimin claiming his own artistic territory with full conviction, on his own terms, without a safety net. When you place Face alongside Taemin's solo body of work and look at both artists through the same lens, certain things become very clear. Both of them use performance as a form of confession. Both of them are willing to be uncomfortable on camera so that the audience can feel something true. Both of them understand that real connection, the kind that makes a song stay with someone for years, comes from honesty, not perfection. So what does all of this mean? Why does the relationship between Jimin and Taemin matter beyond the world of fan culture? It matters because both of these men represent something that the entertainment industry, in any country, struggles to produce consistently: artists who grow. Artists who do not just maintain a brand but actually evolve as human beings, and let that evolution show in their work. In a landscape where so much is managed and calculated and optimized for algorithmic performance, Jimin and Taemin remind us that authenticity is still possible. That you can survive the machine and still come out the other side with your artistic soul intact. Their relationship, the admiration, the mutual respect, the quiet artistic kinship, is a microcosm of something larger. It is what happens when talented people with good hearts find each other across the divisions of company rivalries and fan-based tribalism and industry competition. It is proof that the best artists, regardless of where they come from or who signs their contracts, tend to recognize each other. They speak the same language, even when everything around them is trying to keep them in separate boxes. And here we have to give credit where it is genuinely due to the fans. Both the ARMY and SHINee World communities have, at their best, been remarkably generous in the way they have documented and celebrated the connection between Jimin and Taemin. Compilations, timeline threads, fan analyses, lovingly crafted archives, the communities around these two artists have created a living record of mutual appreciation that stretches back years. Fans noticed the admiration before anyone was saying it out loud. They connected the dots across interviews and award show moments and subtle interactions. They did not fabricate a relationship, they witnessed one, and then made sure it was not forgotten. That matters. In a world that moves as fast as K-pop does, where today's biggest story is replaced by tomorrow's before anyone has fully processed it, the people who slow down and pay attention and keep the record are doing something genuinely valuable. Here is what I want you to take away from this video. The connection between Jimin and Taemin is not a mystery that was finally cracked open today. It has been there, in plain sight, for anyone willing to look past the surface level of idol culture and pay attention to what these two artists have actually been saying and doing and creating over the years. What makes it feel hidden is not that it was ever kept secret. It is that the noise of the industry, the rankings and the feuds and the viral moments and the endless content cycle makes it easy to miss the quieter, more meaningful things. The admiration that has shaped how a young idol practices in the mirror at 2 in the morning. The influence that moves through a performer's body without a credit in the liner notes. The way one artist's courage makes another artist braver. That is the real relationship between Jimin and Taemin. And now that you see it, it is going to be very hard to unsee. If this video resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe if you have not already. We go deep on stories like this all the time, the ones that do not always make the front page. Drop a comment below and let me know, which moment between Jimin and Taemin hit you the hardest? I read every single one. See you in the next video.